In a quiet European countryside, where soft grass swayed beside a gentle pond and the air always seemed filled with calm, a new story was about to begin. It was a place where mornings felt warm, evenings felt safe, and every small life had its own journey waiting to unfold. Spring arrived, and with it came new beginnings. Near the edge of the pond, a mother duck carefully watched over her eggs. One by one they cracked open, and small yellow ducklings stepped into the world, full of energy and tiny sounds of joy. But one egg remained. When it finally opened, a different duckling appeared. This duckling was smaller, with soft grey and brown feathers, a slightly longer neck, and eyes that seemed a little unsure of the world. While the others waddled proudly, this one moved clumsily, trying its best to keep up. The other ducklings stared, they whispered, they laughed. Compared to the bright yellow ducklings, the grey-brown duckling looked out of place. It did not move as confidently, and it did not look the same. Soon, the playful glances turned into teasing, and teasing slowly turned into loneliness. Even though the mother duck tried to protect her little one, the world outside was not always kind. At the pond, on the farm, and among other animals, the grey-brown duckling was often pushed aside, ignored, or laughed at. Day after day, the duckling began to feel that it did not belong. One quiet evening, as the sky softened into warm colours, the duckling made a difficult choice. With slow steps and a heavy heart, it walked away from the pond, leaving behind the only home it had ever known. The nights were cold and lonely. The duckling rested under the moonlight, listening to unfamiliar sounds and wondering if it would ever find a place where it truly belonged. Along the way, it met other ducks and animals. For a brief moment, hope appeared, but once again, the duckling was turned away for being different. As time passed, the seasons changed, leaves fell, and the air grew cooler. The duckling kept walking, growing stronger without even realizing it. Its feathers slowly changed, its neck grew longer, and its movements became more graceful. Then winter arrived. The pond froze, and the cold became unbearable. Weak and exhausted, the duckling struggled to survive until, at last, a kind farmer found it and offered warmth and shelter. For the first time in a long while, the duckling felt safe. When spring returned, so did life. The duckling stepped outside once more, feeling the sunlight on its feathers. It was no longer the same small creature that had wandered away months before. Something had changed, even if it did not yet understand how. One day, by a quiet lake, the duckling saw a group of beautiful swans gliding across the water. They were elegant, calm, and shining in the light. Drawn by something it could not explain, the duckling moved closer to the water and looked at its reflection. What it saw made its heart stop. Looking back was not an ugly duckling, but a graceful young swan. White feathers shimmered softly, and the long neck curved with quiet confidence. The duckling had never been ugly at all. It had only been growing. The young swan joined the others, welcomed without fear or judgment. For the first time, it felt truly at home. Later, the swan returned to the old pond. The same place that once felt painful now felt peaceful. The other ducklings looked on in wonder, not recognizing the one who had once stood among them in silence. The swan simply glided across the water, calm and proud, knowing its journey had shaped who it had become. Every story has an ending, but some endings are also beginnings. The ugly duckling's journey reminds us that growing takes time, and becoming who we are meant to be often happens quietly, without anyone noticing. The lesson of this story is simple, yet powerful. Being different does not mean being less. Sometimes it means you are still becoming.